Good morning, and welcome to another Writer's Morning Commute. There's a lot of things that go into making a good story. When I first started writing, I kind of had this idea that a story was just kind of, a list of events. And I wrote my first book kind of like that. It had some themes, it had a little bit of a narrative cohesion, but ultimately something felt off and I couldn't quite figure out what that was. I later realized that instead of being a series of cause and effects, all kind of, leading from start to finish, from start to climax, instead of doing that, it was just kind of, this thing happened, then this thing happened, then this thing happened. And, I had read enough books and watched enough movies to know that you needed some foreshadowing and some, callbacks, that kind of thing. So I put a little bit of that in there, but not nearly as much as I think was right. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read that book. The writing, the narration itself was pretty bad. But it was the first time when I realized that there was something I really didn't know about writing. And as my journey continued, I kept finding another thing and another thing and another thing that good writing had that my writing did not. So I thought I would kind of loosely start going over some things I've learned that have helped my writing. And I'll start with the place where I feel like a story should begin, which is with the characters. Now, I'm not saying that characters have to be the first thing you figure out. When I'm working on a story, just starting it, I brainstorm, characters, setting, details, plot details, just anything that comes to me, and branch off from all those. But once I have a general, have enough material brainstormed and feel like I have a good starting spot, I like to start with the characters so that when I'm doing my pre-writing and my outlining, I can keep in mind the characterization that I've already figured out and make sure that the choices characters are making are logical with their personalities. So lots of people talk about how characters need a goal, motivation, or a thing they want and a thing they need. They need backstory, they need a ghost, some sort of injury they've experienced in their past. And I agree with all of that. I have this long list of things, all those things I already mentioned. Also positive virtues that they possess because of this backstory, negative vices that they experience because that lead to the thing that they want. The virtues connect to things they want to. Now it's all kind of interconnected. We figure out their virtues and their vices and their backstory. That's all really great. But beyond that, I think characters need something to make them really feel unique, to really give them a voice. So recently I've just started doing a trick I haven't fully incorporated yet, so I'm still, kind of working on the details. But I basically try to find 5 things about this character for each character, roughly 5, depending on how key of a character they are. They need closer to 5. If they're a less crucial character, more of a background character, they could use fewer. But things that only apply to this person. So maybe this person wears a baseball hat, a baseball cap, and the only time I mention the words baseball cap in the story are around this character or relating to this character. You can also use tall or skinny or any sort of physical descriptor. You can use emotional, mental descriptors, clothing, whatever, anything you want. And I take those 5 words and it kind of helps guide me in describing them, places to touch every time, keystones to touch whenever they show up in the story, to remind the reader, oh hey, yeah, it's that guy with the hat. I also try to find 2 phrases to guide their dialogue, like angry and argumentative, perhaps. And then every time I'm writing their dialogue, I'm thinking, alright, this person is angry and argumentative. How do I write this and get across this information in that way? So hopefully those thoughts helped you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great day.